So Joe Biden just took credit from the Gaza ceasefire, which is kind of strange because his entire administration has given Donald Trump praise and the mainstream media of all things, which yet solidifies that Trump and conservatism has completely taken over.
And the Secretary of State. Let's listen.
Good afternoon. It's a very good afternoon because at long last I can announce a ceasefire and a hostage deal has been reached between Israel and Hamas.
When it comes to the involvement of President-elect Trump's team, it has been absolutely critical in getting this deal over the line. And it's been critical because, obviously, as I stand here...
As I said, Biden-owned administration is now giving praise to Donald Trump for it, and Biden starts it off, well, didn't start off his address, but addressed the nation stating that the ceasefire was done thanks to him and his administration. Donald Trump made a pretty staggering announcement to Hamas about 4 days ago, which we're going to show that, which is now credited to being the main reason why the ceasefire even exists.
Today, this administration's term in office will expire in 5 days. And one of the things that we have always said about this deal is that when you get from stage 1 to stage 2, that the United States, Egypt, and Qatar are the guarantors of this deal. And Egypt and Qatar will push Hamas to stay at the bargaining table and to get from stage 1 to stage 2, and the United States will push Israel to stay at the bargaining table to get from phase 1 and phase 2. So obviously those are promises we cannot make on behalf of the United States for any longer than the next 5 days. And so it's critical that all of the parties to the agreement and the other mediators see that when the United States is in the room making commitments, those are lasting commitments that extend beyond this administration into the next one. I would just say, lastly, I don't know if it's unprecedented to have envoys from an outgoing and an incoming administration sitting at the same table negotiating a ceasefire agreement of this kind. But if it's not unprecedented, it's certainly unusual. And we, of course, thank the Trump team for working with this on this ceasefire agreement. We think it's important that they were at the table.
Not only did they give him credit, they thanked him. They thanked the Trump team for the ceasefire. And that is crazy because it shows that before the man is even president, he's fulfilling his role as being a leader for the United States. And this is what we need, a real leader. Trump is the type of person to do what he said he's going to do. He's even now considering an executive order to save TikTok because he told Gen Z that he would do everything in his power to do so. It's a man that keeps his promises, and whether you're liberal or conservative, it's looking pretty bright for all of us. It's very, very encouraging to see a man keep his promises, and you know that's the person that has your life in his hands. In comparison to someone that talks one way and does the other. I mean, hell, black people are still waiting on payments for some of those vaccines that they took in Atlanta. People were promised payments for vaccines that they didn't even get from the Biden administration. The lies go on and on, but just on a simple example, they couldn't even pay people in the hoods from what they were owed. Trump is accomplishing monumental things before he's even president. So we can compare this first week to Biden's first week. Promises were already being lost, and Trump's not president and promises are kept. So it's looking pretty up from here.
If those hostages aren't back, I don't want to hurt your negotiation. If they're not back by the time I get into office, all hell will break out in the Middle East. And it will not be good for Hamas, and it will not.
And this is what's being credited for creating the ceasefire. The man is intimidating. Trump, we can make all those jokes about him as you want to, but we wouldn't want to see this man have the nuclear codes in his hands and be our enemy. He is someone that is going to let you know that America is powerful, and he's willing to use the power on you, and he's going to let you know right before he hits you that you're going to get hit. And it shows that Trump has a lot of respect from the world leaders because what he says, they take a lot of consideration from everything that he say. When he say he's going to do something, the entire nation reacts. What he say, annexing Canada? Is Canada not reacting? He talked about taking over Greenland. Is Greenland not reacting? He told Hamas to pack the bags. He told Israel to put down the guns. Are they not reacting? What he says holds power, and we need a leader like that. We need a leader that is respected by the world leaders. And I can see further peace being created with Israel through this. I don't see Netanyahu lasting much longer, but I see peace with Russia and Ukraine. I see us collaborating with Russia again, but I could see more drama coming from Iran.
Not be good, frankly, for anyone. All hell will break out. I don't have to say anymore, but that's what it is.
And you have been watching a CBS News special report on a ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hamas. This just happening within the past few moments or so. I want to bring in now CBS News contributor Robert Berger. He is live in Jerusalem. Robert, I want to go over some of the terms of this agreement. 33 hostages expected to be released from Hamas in the coming days. How soon could we see these hostages released? We're talking about women, children, and senior citizens expected to be among those who are released this weekend.
Well, this is a 6-week ceasefire, so we're going to see a gradual release of these.
And this is a change of tone for mainstream media. As I said, the media companies are submitting to Trump, and they're submitting to the authority of Trump, which is interesting, which further proves what I was told about the Obama and Trump conversation, that Obama called off the deep state on Trump. And I believe that the shadow government that rules America, I think there has to be a shadow government, but it has to be the most powerful previous president to be able to rule it. And I think the hands are changing from Obama to Trump. I think after Trump presidency, he will have full control of the government. And why did I say that? Because Trump is creating alliances with tech. This is going to be the most tech-friendly administration in American history. You can check that, you can date that, you can fact check me. With that much partnership, let's say the tech conglomerates have a good time during these 4 years and say, man, we were treated better through Trump and Republicans than we were with Biden. The next thing you're going to see is a domination online through social media, which are the new kings of America and the world, in a conservative way. And that is going to solidify the position of conservatives for possibly the next 12 years. He is creating alliances with the techs. And with the alliances with big tech, it comes the control of what people see.
Hostages, perhaps in batches.
And go into that a little bit further. Let me hurry up. I know you're ready to watch the video. It's important because he can get people primary. Let's say if these people are loyal to Trump and he say, well, I want to recommend so-and-so to be president. The tech conglomerates could then start pushing the algorithm in the favor of Trump picks, the same way that Obama had a grasp on big media and tech himself. Section 230, that's through Obama. So Obama had those partnerships that he is now losing. Biden was tougher on tech than most presidents. Completely destroyed the relations, and Trump swooped in and gained control.
Of 3 or 4 with the several days in between. The hope is that the first release of 3 hostages could take place as early as Sunday.
And also, too, with this agreement, Palestinians will be released from Israeli custody. What can you tell us about that?
We think the number is around 1,000 Palestinian prisoners that would be released over this 6 weeks, this 6-week ceasefire. And that includes minors, women, and also some militants who are serving life sentences for deadly terrorist attacks on Israelis. That, of course, doesn't sit well with the Israeli public, but what people are saying is, the government too, is that that's the price you have to pay to get those Israeli hostages home. And let's point out, 33 is only about a third of the Israeli hostages held in Gaza.
This is a big
I do find it interesting the number 33 appears yet again. I ain't going to go into it, but wow.
win for the Biden administration. Just less than a week until a new administration takes over. But Margaret Brennan brought up a really interesting point, that this deal was actually brokered by members of the Biden team, but also the Trump team, too. What can you tell us about that?
Well, there's been Trump's envoy, Steve Witkoff, was in the region, and from what I've heard, kind of twisting arms both here in Israel and in Qatar, which to put pressure, Qatar being a mediator with Hamas, to get them to close a deal before he took office. Mr. Trump has famously said that if there wasn't a deal by his inauguration next Monday, that there would be all hell to pay. And I think that put pressure both on the Arab mediators and on the Israeli out.
Important to note that this deal still needs the Israeli government. Can you tell us a little bit about how that?
Yet again, they're giving Donald Trump credit for ending the war. And this is from mainstream media, people. This isn't your Fox News. This is CBS. What a time to see the media give him praise for ending this deal. I remember, I don't know if you guys remember, when Donald Trump created peace in the Middle East with that treaty, the Lincoln Accord, Abraham Accords. Abraham Accord. The media tried to downplay it so much. He was even nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize. The media downplayed it so much, it made it seem like Trump was taking credit for something that he didn't do. Well, we are currently in 2025, and all Trump has is a Truth Social account to respond to it. And without a video confirming that he's taking full credit of it, the media is giving Trump credit. It's a distinct difference. Trump had did press release after press release after creating peace in the Middle East with the Abraham Accords, and they refused to give him credit for it. When they did, they had to slight-handed and talk about how much destruction was still taking place in the Middle East. Now you're just seeing Trump came in and saved the day. Let's go home. It's a distinct difference, and it shows that they're giving up. They're giving up on a fight with Trump. Yes, they give him backlash because you have an audience they have to entertain. We need two sides to exist in America, but nonetheless, they're treating him like a president. It's so interesting to see a Democrat-ran organization treating Donald Trump like a human being. That's it, like a human being. They're no longer treating him like a dictator. They can't say the Hitler things. He's a man that wants peace. He's a man that wants prosperity. And I expect to see a lot of great days coming for everyone. I think he is going to lead the last of America to the right, culturally. Joe Biden did it because destruction is a great educator. People losing their jobs, people losing their wages, people losing their homes. It'll lean you in another direction. Whether you're conservative or liberal, you're going to go the other way. Now, Trump is about to sink this thing home by showing them the positives of having a conservative president, because people are already on the edge if they haven't already jumped. This is going to push people over the hill. Seeing these reassuring actions from a president is going to push more people towards his party.
That process works?
First, it will go to the cabinet, where we're expecting a strong majority to support it. There are a couple of right-wing cabinet ministers who oppose this. They don't like the idea of releasing terrorists, and they think that that only encourages more kidnapping. But they're going to be in the minority. This vote will get through the cabinet, and then there will be some legal hurdles to overcome. People who oppose the release of the Palestinians, or for the families of the hostages, it's been a huge trial, but actually for the whole country. I mean, especially the hostage issue. The fact that there are 98 Israeli hostages, 60 of whom are believed to be alive, that have been held in these dungeons, is something that has hung over the nation really since October 7th, 2023. And so there's some relief, but having said that, as I mentioned, there's still going to be, if this deal goes through, the 33, if they get freed, you still have 65 who are left in Gaza, and it's not clear if and when they're going to make it home.
So what comes next after all of this, Robert? There's a 42-day implementation, as Margaret Brennan reported, to this ceasefire deal. What happens after that?
Okay, so 16 days into this ceasefire, not clear exactly when the starting point is, but
okay.
That's right. Now it does look like the war is still going on, that the fractions are still having at it. And from what it seems, it appears we have to wait on Sunday for it to be official.
16 days after that, negotiations begin on the second phase to release those 65 Israeli hostages who are left. Probably another 2,000 at least Palestinian prisoners would be freed during that time, and probably an end to the war if all the hostages are returned. But frankly, I see that second phase as being quite problematic and not a done deal at all.
All right, Robert Berger coming to us live from Jerusalem. Thank you so much for that insight, sir.
So here's some footage of the Palestinian kids celebrating over the ceasefire news. And I think this is a great choice for people to view the symbolism of what's coming. Peace not only in America, but peace across the entire world. It's just a new era. And Donald Trump's going to do things that's going to get him hate. He's Donald J. Trump. But can we not just admire the moment and be like, man, this is a cool time? I mean, it's a night and day difference compared to what we seen when Joe Biden became president and the Taliban took over Afghanistan under the day. We're seeing people get freed opposed to being entrapped. And it's very inspiring. Trump saving the world. Trump also doing this is preventing the possibility of having more terrorists in America, because terrorists start off as children most of the time from getting bombed and destroyed from Western countries. They will have resentment towards those countries. They're going to hit them back. These type of actions can present that, can help end the hate and help push us forward as a species of human. It's crazy. And this is something that Biden could have provided, could have given peace, tranquility to these people, and he refused to. Until the very end, Democrats were extremely selfish. Trump is coming back this week, and we are bringing peace to the entire world. And if you voted for him, take some credit in it. Take some credit in these things. And the happiness of people across the world, and the peace in Israel, the peace in Palestine. Take credit in it because it's what you voted for. The same thing as you could say to liberals. This is what you voted for. Elections have consequences, and here's the consequences of us voting red. Feels like a new era.
عايز التنفيذ هتلاقوني على الواد اول واحده على الواد غزه غزه هنروح غزه غزه جاياك يا غزه.
You got a whole nation celebrating because of actions of the United States. It's like stuff like this, it makes me proud to be American, because when we have the right leader, we do a lot of great things. We mitigate and help bring peace to the world when we're not destroying it and implementing our propaganda and taking over their governments. We can do a lot of good.
I do think that all sides agree that Trump's hand in this has made a difference, one way or another.
Yeah, they don't want to deal with Trump.
The fact that they have to admit this is so crazy, all of mainstream media.
He's been perfectly clear. He has not vacillated about his message that if they don't send our people back, there's going to be hell to pay. And thank God he has been on that message, and he has not wavered from it. He's not stepped back from it. And I don't really care, candidly, who the president is when all this happens. I just want him back. I mean, I've worn this yellow ribbon out here every night for over a year because I think there's so many families who are just devastated. They're hurting. They don't know what the situation is. And we need this to come to an end. There are Americans involved here. Look, I think we're going to end up paying a very heavy price in this deal. I'm sure some terrorists are probably going to wind up being let out of jails. I don't particularly like that. But to settle this, to get peace and to get our people back, I think it took Trump winning the election and being clear-eyed about it to make it happen.
Scott,
if you were Iran or any terrorist with any level of responsibility, what you have witnessed, ministers tried to, at various points, put shackles on Israel. You can say they've been strong on it, but they have at times tried to put rhetorical and military shackles on Israel. There is no expectation that Trump would put shackles on anybody, and there is some expectation that he might just get involved himself if they don't send our people back. So I do think this was the essential element to getting this over the finish line, and I hope it happens right now. A great nation, a superpower, does not permit its people to be held and treated like this for as long as we have. I don't think Donald Trump wants to be taking over a country that was willing to permit that kind of behavior by these thugs and terrorists. And so I think that's why he was clear-eyed in his statements, and I think that's why they're responding.
All right, everyone.
If he does good, if he gets the Israeli hostages out, I promise I will wear a MAGA hat for
We
one
gotta
day.
end it with this. So the View host had said that if Trump ever got the hostages out, that she'll wear a MAGA hat. So I am so expecting and looking forward to tomorrow's segment of The View and see her wear that hat
On the show
if she keeps her word.
and say thank you for doing it.
Yeah, so I would love to see it if she actually wears that MAGA hat. But yeah, so Trump is bringing peace to the Middle East yet again and faster than ever. Super excited for me to attend inauguration. I'll see you all while we out there. Please like, comment, subscribe if you can, and click the notification bell to stay updated on the next post. Got more celebrity news coming out, but this was big news, so I had to hit politics real quick.